Okay, how's everybody doing? I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to come on, especially on YouTube there. Mark O'Connor from the sunny coastline of France there with your lovely red Alex Ferguson nose on you. How are you doing? You enjoying the
Yeah,
sun, eh?
I've been at the Cannes Film Festival all day today and just getting burnt Irish style.
Brilliant. Brilliant, guys. We're just going to wait just a couple of minutes there to some other people will be joining the call. Jump on the live chat there on the right hand side if those of you that are on YouTube. We'll see it. There's a little bit of a slight delay um, on the chat, but we're keeping an eye on the live chat and also on the Facebook group there as well. So you've disappeared on me, Mark. Are you okay?
Sorry, I'm sharing that link. It's live, isn't
It is, yeah. I just thought you popped off there to get some sun after sun for your nose.
it?
Hold on there. Okay, so we do have some people watching live there. You're gone
Okay,
there,
I'm
Mark.
coming
For
back.
some reason, your video's gone.
Um, yeah.
Ah, there you are. Handsome devil you are. Okay, so guys, we've had
I've
loads and
lost
loads
sound there,
and
Paul. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Don't know.
Technology there. Mark is over in France. Hang on, here he is.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, I'll
Are
just
you
stay on
back?
here. Yeah, I lost sound there when I went to. Yeah,
Okay, we're back and we're live. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, Mark is away working on his next feature. You're doing some recce stuff and all. I don't know how much you want to say about that, but how's the south of France? Lucky you.
yeah, it's all good, man. You can't complain about here. Our son is in school now in a French school, and we're just doing some location scouts and we're shooting next week, 2 days at the Cannes Film Festival just to capture the festival, and then the rest of the film is filming in October. So prep will start in July. So I'm just doing some early prep here, and the lead actor Mo Dunfort's arriving in a few days. Michael Lavelle's arriving today. The cameraman from Carbo Gangsters, and yeah, we've got a French team here, and we're going to be filming around the Palais, around the Marche du Film, and hopefully the red carpet area, just to capture all that stuff, and then work it into the movie and into one or two little montage moments, you know.
Oh, brilliant.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Well, best
so
of luck with it. Can you talk about the title or anything, or can you tell people to watch out?
yeah. It's called We Can, and I've been making a kind of like how to make a movie in Cannes for €1 million on my on my YouTube channel. I'll plug that, which is Marco Connor Film. But yeah, I've just been making I've done 2 episodes, making a third episode now, and yeah, it's called We Can. It's just about Irish people going to Cannes to make a movie. It's a comedy drama. We've got some French cast, some American cast, UK and Irish. It's kind of like a co-pro between Ireland and France. Um, so yeah, it's looking good so far, and yeah, should be fun.
Exciting times. Okay. So back to business this evening. We've had lots of emails from people just, asking about the kind of one shot project and what it is and what their days consist of and what people can expect from it and what the takeaways are who's involved and who are we and all of this type stuff. And I just thought that we'd jump on and we can, like I said, we'll be keeping an eye on YouTube as well. Or if you want to ask any questions on the actual Facebook group as well, the FNI Facebook group, or on any of the one shot channels, we'll get to them if we can or if we see them. But I suppose the genesis of the project um, was born quite a while ago now. We've been kind of meeting up and talking about what exactly people is want, and particularly kind of performers who are looking to create vehicles for themselves because people are tired of waiting for the phone to ring. They're hearing about these massive productions that are coming into Ireland, but they're not getting a sniff. And we wanted to take a leaf out of the kind of Peter Mullen, Paddy Constantine school of motoring, where we wanted to create a project that would help people to engage future audiences. And what that means, I suppose, ostensibly, is that we'll help people to bring existing ideas to the One Shot project, short film scripts, help them polish those scripts, help them work through those scripts over a couple of workshops, and get them in a position where they're questioning the validity of the idea, thinking about the project as a whole, and then working through some various different modules like acting for camera, and then working on the business side of things where we'll help people formulate or to think about formulating and help them with some tools and suggestions for them to come to a conclusion where they have a pitch deck, some visuals, a nice package that they can bring forward then for future funding rounds, whether it be county council funding, Screen Ireland short funding, Virgin Media funding, wherever there are little pockets of funding for short films to help them to put together a tidy package so that they have something which looks and sounds and feels like something that these bodies are used to seeing. So to create agency for people over their work, to help them to sharpen their tools, and also then ultimately to shoot a short scene from said idea or said script to a good standard whereby they have that scene to accompany a package to say, look, this could be a piece from this overall package. And then at the end, they have what we feel is a well rounded, shaped, overall kind of pitch deck treatment package and, and actual scene from it. Then on top of that, we'll take some free headshots of people as well, some nice shots down at Claremont Screen Hub, and then you'll have, for all intents and purposes, an overall package. Now that's for the people who have a creative idea and want to bring that to the project. So if you go to oneshotireland.com, you'll see, the options there. So if you go in, there's an overall creator package. But if you go to the checkout section and you follow the booking link, if you're an actor or if you're a producer, or if you're a um, hair and makeup or a locations person or a fight coordinator, or you just want to get involved in the actual practical doing side of the course, there's options then for you to come down at the latter stages of the module to offer yourself and make yourself available for the larger kind of creative individual projects. So it's very much a case of all the community coming together. Um, we're supported amazingly by Claremont Screen Hub, screenhub.ie. Check it out in Wicklow in Rathnew. It's a really ambitious project and they're giving us full support. And by the brilliant people at Film Equipment Store slash hire. I'm really excited to say that they're going to be providing us with some incredible equipment that we'll be able to use over those few days, like production packages, some lights, cameras, and Mark will provide the action.
Yeah, no, like Claremont is brilliant. Like when I'm in Ireland, that's where my office is, and they're just really supportive to up and coming people in the industry. It kind of reminds me of the factory back in the day. Do you remember the factory, Paul? Were you involved in that?
No, I wasn't.
It was a kind of like a hub for filmmakers, writers, actors that they could go to, and everybody would share ideas and we'd shoot scenes. And it was set up by Lance Daly, the filmmaker, Kirsten Sheridan, and John Carney, and it evolved into what is now Bow Street. So Bow Street was originally the factory, but it's where Peter Coonan and Barry Keoghan and all these guys that I was working with, Jack Rayner, all these guys came through the factory, like.
Yeah.
So Screen Hub is like that, and you know how they see the creative arts, and it's a non-profit. But they've got an incredible space there. I think it's 65 acres of land. You know, if you want to shoot in forest, there's forest and there's fields and um there's different rooms. Like you know, they're shooting Vikings there, and they're shooting. They shot Wednesday, the Netflix show. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different sets and locations that you can avail of. You know, it's not just a college. Like it has some incredible space around it. You know,
Yeah, I
for
have to say,
people to come.
it's for what it is and where it is. It's an incredible facility for people to come down and create like a very visually interesting scene, and to obviously to get motivated and look around the facilities. A couple of things to mention very early on as well about Claremont Screen Hub. The One Shot Ireland project is a long-term project, and we're hoping to visit Galway, Cork, and Northern Ireland as well at some point. We haven't announced the dates yet, but we're working towards those. But the intention at the end of it all is, when we have finished the overall project, that all of the cohorts of all of the one shot modules from around the place, we'll have a large networking night where people can then pitch. We'll through our contacts and Film Network Ireland and other endeavours that we're involved in, we'll be inviting people along, and that means kind of, you know, producers, production companies, people that we've met through FNI Rap Chat, to create a networking night, probably in Dublin city centre, where people can come along. They can do their stage pitches, you know, their elevator pitches, and then at the end of that, Claremont Screen Hub will be given €10,000 worth of production support to um, whoever the we deem, or the panel of judges that we assemble on the night, will deem, you know, the best viable project from the pitch, and then Screen Hub will provide all of the production support thereafter, whether it be equipment, you can shoot on site, or you know, wherever your short film takes you, and then they'll help out with the post production, the mix, the grading, the sound, all of that type of stuff. So it's a really ambitious project. That's about it, you know, in production value, that's about €10,000. So that's really exciting as well. We're going to be announcing some special guests that are going to be taking part, not only in the June module, but also in the other ones as time progresses. And just as you know, guys, if you're watching, when it comes to kind of filmmakers and actors, they have to keep their schedules kind of relatively open, and they can't confirm stuff until, you know, quite close to the date, because, you know, altruistically, people want to help out what we're doing. But if someone comes in and offers them a really well paid job, that we have to, you know, they have to keep their cards close to their chest. But trust us when we say we have some, you know, great people getting involved in the overall project over the course of the time period that we'll be running the overall course. So, Mark, you know, from your point of view as a director, we're going to have directing modules. Uh, we're going to directing classes. We're going to have screenwriting classes. From your point of view, I mean, what is it you're looking for from up and coming potential writer performers and directors, people that would have a very clear vision of their work? What are you looking for? What is it, you know, because you're renowned for working with, you know, incredible people very early on who've gone on to have like really huge careers, and kind of given them their start, or their their first shot. What are you looking for from a creative person that will get involved in this?
Yeah, I think when you're coming up in the industry, I can only speak for myself, you know, but what I found was like when I was trying to make stuff, it was always difficult. Like even in film school, it was hard to actually get stuff made because, you know, you don't have a crew around you, you don't have the right people around you, and yeah, like I would bring in my friends, you know, who were not, they weren't interested in being in the industry, but they'd help me out, and I'd want to make something, but it would take me months and months just to make some little short film, or they wouldn't turn up, you know. So the good thing about this is like it will be a collective of creative people who are all after the same goal of making something, you know, powerful, creative, and you can come in with any style, any type of idea that you want. But it's about developing that idea and making it something and seeing if there's, the kernel of the idea, if it's powerful enough to make it into a short film. So it's examining that, and I'll be looking at the screenwriting process and looking at everything from, what is the genre of the piece? What's the master plot? Like, is it a revenge story? Is it a rescue story? Like, defining it is very important early on, and knowing then, what your log line is, and um, building out the steps to the beats, like a beat sheet, for your scene or for your script. So the development of the idea will be key, and then when you go to actually making it, it's about you know choosing where the location is going to be, the actors you're going to have, and and storyboarding your every shot, so you know exactly what you're doing on the day, um doing a shot list as well, and then working with the actors, whether you're going to bring an actor in with you, or whether you work with someone that we have there on the day, or someone else that's in a part of one shot, um and you're looking to make something of high quality. You're not just looking to make something that's just not going to be seen by anybody. You got to think about, this could be for a film festival, a top film festival. You got to be thinking like that. Like, is this going to be for when I do this as a short or make a short? Is it going to be for Tribeca? Is it going to be for Cannes? But you got to think in that way, rather than like, I'm just going to shoot this, for fun.
Mm.
It is going to be fun. It's a lot of fun making something, whether you're making a piece or whether you're making a scene or a short. Um, but what's going to be really unique about this is the fact that, like, I know a lot of actors who are trying to break in, and it's very difficult to get an opportunity. It's very difficult for agents to take you seriously.
Yeah.
So this is a way, especially for actors, um, who want to be seen and want to do something where they are like the creator of it, but they can do it the way they want, or portray a character that they want to portray on screen. So it's a really great opportunity to showcase yourself, but also for directing as well. It could be at any stage of your career. You might be trying to get into film school. You might be trying to get into, say, Ballyfermot or Dunleary, and you need a show reel, or you might be trying to get an agent, or you might be trying to get into Bow Street. Whatever level you're at, or you might be more experienced and you might have made a few short films and you want to, gain more knowledge. Like, me personally, I'm always looking to learn. So, like, after when I studied in Ballyfermot Film School, I thought, like, I haven't learned enough, I haven't directed enough. I literally just want to direct more stuff, because I directed my own stuff in my spare time, but I
Sure.
wanted to do more, like, with professionals or with mentor figures, um, that would help and guide me, and it was so helpful. Then I went to the New York Film Academy, and I paid the money myself. I worked in the Bronx for 2.5 years. I saved up a big wad of cash because I was illegal. I'd go to Canada to renew my visa,
I
but I
say
did.
I saved up a big sweaty wad of cash under a mattress.
Yeah, and I did that. I did that so I could go to New York Film Academy, and you get to direct 4 short pieces there, and that's what I wanted to do, because I didn't have that opportunity properly in Ballyfermot. Around other people who had the same mindset, and everyone there was really in that mindset, and that's what we want. We want people like that, who are gonna have that creative mindset. They want to make something. They're inspired, and they want to inspire others. And that really that was incredible time over there, making pieces of work, and I learned so much in that. So I want to take my knowledge of what I've learned in those experiences, and also as a filmmaker, having made some feature films that have been in the cinema, like how to direct, how what to do, what not to do in your screenplay, in the development of your screenplay, and then when you go to actually shoot, you know how to use cameras, lenses, whatever the equipment that we have, which is going to be great equipment. Um, so I'll be there as a mentor figure in some way, of however I can be there to help. Um, but man, I'm looking forward to it. This is what I love. I love to make films, and I love to teach. Like, I teach my own courses, and I teach in Griffith, as you know, Paul, and I teach in Dunleary. on the master's program there to screenwriting. So I can't wait to get back to Ireland and be a part of this.
Yeah, it's I'm sure there's people that are, watching this or have been monitoring what we're doing with this, and they might be, looking at it going, and I see them myself, through my work with FNI and everything. There's a lot of people offering kind of actor show reel type courses, or shortish type courses for actors or performers or writers or directors. And I will, from my own point of view, having facilitated, over 30 workshops, classes with all sorts of people, online stuff. I've been funded by Screen Ireland on 3 or 4 occasions. I've got county council funding. I've got LEO funding for various different bits and pieces and film projects, and business film initiatives as well. And one thing that about this project, what we're trying to do is we think that it's very affordable for what it is. We're really just trying to, cover all of the costs of potentially what this is, in order to give people the most intrinsic value from what, like, we want to try and give as many takeaways to people taking part, so that everybody taking part has something, and something positive to take away from the experience, but also tangibly to take away, like footage, like headshots, like, you know, um, personal relationships, networking opportunities, talks, and being able to work with people like yourself and some other people that are going to be getting involved that we're announcing soon, to be able to work with them, talk with these people in close quarters to get a sense of, the parameters of their experience, to ask lots of questions, because there's no such thing as a stupid question, and also to realize that we're all ultimately just peers in this environment, and that everyone wants to create art, and everyone wants to work towards a dynamic, new, exciting, creative project. Um, and you might ask yourself, why would I take something like this over, another project? Most importantly, I'll just reiterate that there's a couple of different options in which you can take part. Like I said, there's the creator package, which means you can come in and it's like, you have the idea, you're running the show, you're the main director, you're the main writer, you can be the main performer of said material as well. So there's that, and there's an option for that. But there's a lot more in that, so that's why it's more expensive. But then, if you're just, an actor, or you're starting out, or you want to be an actor, or you want to get involved in that, in the project overall, and to be of service of those other creative projects, there's an option for you to take part. Now, you won't be there for the full 4 days, but you'll be there for the intro night, and then, you can network with the directors, and you can make yourself available, and then come back and get involved. The same goes for, like, if you're a videographer and you're shooting a lot of corporate stuff, you want to try and get in and work towards becoming a cinematographer, or becoming an AD, or if you're working towards being a camera assistant, or whatever it may be, an AC or whatever. There's an option for that. Come along. A lot of the ideas will be formed kind of over the weekend, in terms of kind of planning these things, shooting them. And the reason why they're not full short films is, from our perspective, makes a lot of sense. You just want to give them a taster, because if you're going for funding and you deliver the whole film, well, what's the point? So the intention is to help people to create a taste of what the film will be. Hopefully, a more well defined, structured, common sense package, which will help you communicate that you understand what you're talking about, maybe, to and most importantly, to motivate you, to make you feel as if you're not alone, to know that you're not the only people out there who are in the same position as you, and to also inspire you, because in this country in particular, there can be a little bit of a, perception that you can only do one thing, or you're only a one trick pony, and you're only an actor, you're only a writer. You can be lots of different things at the same time and be very good at them. And we hope that this gives individuals a kick up the arse to show them that you know, and this could be a viable project that you can take out, and shop around. You'll also like a big part of this project as well is for you to understand kind of treatments and pitch decks and the pitching side of things. I mean, you can have the greatest. You can be the greatest actor in the world, but people need to know who you are. You can be the greatest writer, director in the world, but people need to know your work. They need to also. It's a dance where you show them that you understand what you're doing, and then they put their trust and then inevitably their money in you in order to for you to facilitate that project. So a lot of what the modules are about is to show and help people to understand that you're not alone. Every day is a school day, and we all have to learn, and we're going to work and collaborate together in order to orchestrate these packages, so that you have something coming away which is tangible, where you go, okay, I feel more confident in what I'm doing now, or I've made lots of peers and friends and colleagues, and I feel much more confident going back out into the world, going to networking events, going for funding, and putting yourself out there. You know, Mark, what's your favorite color?
Purple. It's always been purple.
Yeah, and just a quick thing as well, just popped into my head there about people might be looking at the Wicklow location, the first location in Rathnew. If you get yourself into town nice and early, you can get a bus on any of the days from Bus Aris, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes, and you'll be into Rathnew. There's a regular bus that goes in. There's also a train station that goes down, and for anyone who particularly on the information nights, the information night at the start, rather, on the 4th of June. We'll also be asking people if you're driving from certain areas, maybe people might carpool, that type of thing, to get people down. It's worth the effort. When you see the place and when you're around the place, ostensibly there's an old school there, ostensibly there's an old chapel, there's outhouses, there's a giant forest with acres and acres of space to shoot on. There's
There's a
office
jail,
there's a jail.
jail,
um,
yeah, a dungeon like underneath it. It's I don't ask me why, but there's literally a dungeon underneath the place, like where I think they used to keep the kids there that were like bold or something. It's a spooky place.
that's not freaky at all, or uh,
Yeah,
worrying in terms of what we're trying to do.
back in the
But
1940s. Yeah,
yeah, also Rathnew is for those of you who are maybe not aware of it, is a small town in Wicklow. So there's also lots of local shops you can get out and maybe try and incorporate whatever you need into the scene there. And again, we'll have equipment there. We'll have lights, cameras, everything that we'll need. And if you're experienced in that way, equally, I'd say if there's anybody watching this who are more experienced kind of mentors, or people who are DOPs, or people who are just not working that weekend and want to come down and help out. They feel as if they want to, um, impart some wisdom on what would be, the next kind of cohort of uh, creative film professionals in the future. Drop us an email. You can get us on info at we're FNI. Do you hear me? Info at oneshotireland.com. And reach out, say hello, and we can have a chat about maybe collaborating on that. If this was solely about just making revenue for us, the prices wouldn't be what they are. From our perspective as well, we want this initiative to grow, to grow wings, and for it to become a viable, tangible project, particularly for performers who want to write and direct their own stuff. We want it to be a national initiative going forward, and hopefully we'll be involved. We're going to be announcing kind of future partnerships with other organisations and initiatives, and one or two film festivals in the future. So we're excited about that. Um, Mark, tell us a story about Barry Keoghan.
Barry. Well, he's actually got a film in Cannes,
No
which is
way.
funny. Yeah, it's funny now, like, cause well, what's funny is like a couple of years ago, I was walking past. the Palais, just at Cannes doing meetings, and
Yeah.
Barry was actually on the red carpet, and I'm
No
behind the
way.
barrier, like looking up, and he's actually, yeah. No, it's just like Barry's been has done so well, really. Like when you think about it, it's unbelievable, really. Like
Yeah, it's
his
incredible. Everyone
success
should be
is
really
like
proud of him.
his success is unbelievable. Like, and he keeps going higher and higher. Like, and he's just a very good actor, and he's very ambitious, and he's he makes good connections. Like that, he was always like that. He was always like very driven, going after directors. He always used to go after directors to try to get a call with them or a conversation with them, and he's very likable. When you talk to him, he's the type of person you'd want to cast like in your film because he's very easy to get along with, like, but you
Yeah.
get a sense that he's talented, he's creative. So that's what I got from him. Like, I got that sense, back when he was, I don't know what age, he was about 13 or something when I met him at the first time. Um, and I just got a feeling like he was ringing me, every week or two for about a year and a half, I'd say. And he was just saying, "Oh man, I want to be in a film. Like, I'm interested in this acting thing." And I was like, yeah, well, I haven't written the script. I'm writing the script. That was my first film, Between the Canals, and I was like, you know, um, I'll keep you in mind. I'll keep you in mind. But I could tell by his how eager he was, because you talk to young lads, at that age, and some of them are kind of like, oh, that'd be good. But he was really keen. Like, and when you get one of those people that are really keen, they're usually good. Like, they're usually talented. And he was really keen, and so I said, I'll give you a shot, like, and I'll put you in Between the Canals, and I put him in that. And yeah, like, he was improvising at the shop scene with other kids, and some of the kids they weren't natural actors, and other ones were really good. There was he was really good, and there was another guy, Dermot, was really good. He was only like 10. So some of them were really good, and I said, Barry, and I kept that friendship going with him. I kept that friendship. He would keep it going. Like, other guys, might come in and do it, and then you wouldn't hear from them again. But Barry would stay in touch and always be like, "Oh, do you want to meet up?" So I'd go to the IFI with him, and I'd start teaching him about film. He didn't know nothing about movies back then, so I'd be showing him in the IFI. The bookshop in there. It's really cool, and you get um, books on filmmakers and the French New Wave and Italian neorealism and Russian cinema. And I'd be like, "Do you know Brando?" He didn't even know who Brando was. So I'd be like giving him a list of movies to watch over the weekend and
He
come
knows.
back.
He knows. He knows who Brando is now. I can tell you.
Yeah, well, he named his son Brando, yeah. And but yeah, no, he's become an incredible actor, and he's a sound guy. Like, he's really sound. Like, I've never had a single argument. We always got on great, and yeah, he's done some really great work, man. Like, he's really done some really great work. Like, I think some of his films that he's done, of Killing of a Sacred Deer was really good. Banshees, I sorry, that's my baby there. Um, Banshees in a share now. I wasn't personally into it as a movie. I'm not mad about the McDonough brothers. I know they're really popular, but I thought he was good in it. Um, and Saltburn, he was great in that, and yeah, like, I think he's see as well, like, the conversations that we used to have early on, it was all about, like, don't take Fair City, like, because he was like, Mark, will I take Fair City? He was like, no, you got to work with the best scripts, the best directors. So that's what I was trying to instill in him,
Mhm.
when he was young, and hopefully that helped him a bit. Um,
It's
and
all about the choices, though, isn't it? I mean,
It was all about
clear.
that, because he had
Clearly, he.
opportunities to take. He was offered Fair City, and
Yeah.
Fair City's a great show, like, for Ireland, but like, there was something bigger there, if he just waited a bit
Yeah.
and got the right agent. So the moves you make early on are really important, because you don't get too many chances. Once they see you on screen as an actor, they judge you immediately. These agents, and directors, they see your work, they see your show reel. So it's really important that you make the right decisions.
Yeah. It's all in the choices. I mean, clearly, he's very well informed, and he makes some really incredible choices. For those of you who are maybe joining us a bit late, just very quickly, Mark doesn't like talking about himself, so I'm going to just very quickly intro Mark to the audience if you haven't, if you're joining us rather late in this chat. Mark is a director and a writer director, and has made how many features now? Five, six.
Uh,
This will be your
Five.
sixth.
This is
This is
my
your
sixth.
sixth.
Yeah, the We Can one is my sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark has, made some of the more interesting independent films over the last couple of years, including Between the Canals. If you haven't seen it, it was one of the first films of Peter Coonan, and Damien Dempsey was in it. I think it's a wonderful piece of work. Obviously, King of the Travelers, Stalker, with King of the Travelers with John Connors, who's gone on to some incredible success over the last couple of years as well. A fine actor. And more recently, he worked with Aidan Gillen and on Amongst the Wolves, which was hugely successful in Irish cinemas, and it's on streamers at the moment as well with Aidan Gillen, and it's you know Mark, you know, at the, I feel I hate talking about you in the second person when you're there, but is a very much a get up and go real filmmaker, who does what he says, he means what he says, and he says what he means, and he gets his films made by hook or by crook. So you really couldn't have a better mentor, directing mentor, screenwriting mentor, to help you to get and to sand off the edges of your project to make sure that it gets the attention that it deserves. But using the Barry Keoghan reference there about him haranguing people, and I mean that in a positive way, and not taking no for an answer. And do you think that? How do you feel about ability, Mark, in film and TV and in acting and stuff? Do you believe that it's inherent in some people talent, or do you believe it's something that can be built on and grown and shaped?
That's a good question. I think anyone can learn the craft of this industry, and um, but the difference is, do you have an idea? Do you have something that you want to say, and that's different, Um, so I think there's some actors out there who are innately just talented, but like speaking from personal experience, like with the actors that I worked with, like there was a lot of guys that I worked with who, to be completely honest, like they were as good as Barry in those scenes, in those moments. You know, Shane Curry was amazing in Stalker, and he's been in other Irish films, but he didn't have what Barry had. There was a lot of other elements to it, which is the ambition, making the connections. Shane had his own stuff going on, I think, but he's such a good actor, and there's so there's other guys like Clinchy and guys that I worked with. Peter Coon is an incredible actor, I think. Um, so and he's breaking out now. It's taken him maybe longer, but he's becoming more international now. But he's such a good actor. John Connors, great actor. Him and Barry across from each other in Stalker. Like you can't say who's better. Like they're both great, I think. Um, and John is incredible. In Cardboard Gangsters, I think. Um, so there's a lot more to it than just the talent, is what I mean. There's a lot more to it, and I've seen it because I've seen the ones. I know now the ones you almost like know the ones that are going to go far, but by the way that they behave, the way they're looking upon they're like, I'm going to go to a festival. They've just been in one movie of yours, and they're saying things that's making me realize, okay, they're going to go far, because they're thinking like the way Barry did. I can see it now. They're thinking of like, will I get an agent? Can I work with other directors? And they're constantly asking me questions. Um, Whereas somebody that comes in and does a day and then you don't hear from them again, you know that they're probably not going to do anything else. That's just the way it is. So there's a lot of other factors than talents that get you there.
Yeah. Someone's just asked us a question there. Feel free to join in, guys. All these details you talked about will be on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. If you go to the website oneshotireland.com, you'll see that a lot of that information is there, and what um, other details that we've mentioned is available on our social media. Um, uh, so, for people who are thinking about directing for the first time, um, who have acted or maybe haven't acted and want to write and direct, what how does somebody direct? How does somebody write and direct? How does that process start for you? For example, to use we can OUI as in I we can. How did that project come to fruition? How did you come up with the idea for that, and how did you come to write that? And just to use that as a quick case study for people that are watching for the first time.
Yeah, like I think ideas can come from anywhere, I believe, but they
Yeah.
usually I think it's better when you're inspired by something rather than saying I'm gonna make a gangster film in Cork, and I'm gonna have to attach. I need three brothers, or I need this. Or it's much better when you get an idea that's something that you've seen or that you've experienced in your life, and you're like, oh, geez, imagine making a movie about that. Imagine making something about that. Like maybe there's someone you've seen on the street, and they're fascinating, and you're thinking, who is this person? Or you're researching an idea,
Yeah.
um, or maybe there's someone in your family who fascinates you. So it's better getting it like that because then you're going to have a really strong and powerful team. I think it's going to have a core, and from that, then your story is going to evolve organically, like naturally, and it's going to have a very strong center to it. Um, and then it just develops. And with We Can, that came from a time, when I visited Cannes and we stayed in a house full of a group of absolute lunatics. There was
Not
the head
mentioning
of the
any
Tripoli
names.
the head of the Tripoli brigade that took down Gaddafi was there. Sam, who is a friend of mine now. There was some wannabe up and coming actors. There was a journalist, and I was there, staying there with my wife, and I just said at the end of the week, like there was a lot of partying, drinking, and stuff, and madness going on there in Cannes. And I just said this will make a good film. So it started there, but then the script evolved and it changed, and it became something else, And then I had to choose the genre, like so sometimes the genres can be mixed, and you're thinking like, is this like a caper comedy, or is it um, comedy drama? So you're thinking like exactly you want to be specific about what it is you actually make, so that you know who your audience is going to be. So that comes through the development of your
Mhm.
script. So that's how We Can evolved, and then it evolved into an actual screenplay. Then. Um, but films can be made. Like, you think to yourself, like, how will I ever get this film made? There's so many different levels of a film. You can make a movie for 5 million. You can make it for a million. You can make it for 250 grand. You can make it for 100 grand. You can make it for 20 grand. You can make a feature for 2 grand. It's whatever you want it to be. You just have to adjust your screenplay according to what the budget is going to be and what your ambition is for it. So it's good when you go into an idea knowing, like, how are you going to get this film made? If it's your first feature, it's going to be harder to raise finance. It's going to be hard to get a million or 2 million. It's not
Sorry,
impossible,
Mark,
but
just to cut across you there, just
yeah.
Alex dropped us a message there and he said, should you always write what you know? Because that's what we've always been told here in Ireland.
Um, yeah, like I think it's really important to write what you know, but that doesn't mean that you can't write something um that you you've never experienced. Like for instance, if say you're
Hmm.
writing a sci-fi,
Yeah.
um, I think write what you know means like you're not going to know about some stuff happening up in space or whatever, so you're going to have to do some research there. But the characters within the story might be based on your dad, or they might be based on a friend of yours. So that's what you do. It's like take personal stuff from your life, and that could be anybody, and everybody has interesting people that they know that they've met, or aspects of yourself, aspects of your family, and you incorporate it into your story because then it becomes more believable. You know,
Mhm.
I'm sure that all those great scripts that were written like 2001 or whatever it is, um, they base them on themselves like a lot, or they base it on It could just be one trait of your mother or of your brother or your father that's in there, like. But if
Mhm.
you write what you know, it just gives it much more authenticity. That's the key, like,
Yeah, I think the key word there in the creative arts in general, whether it be from an actor's perspective or a screenwriter or a DOP, is that authenticity, isn't it? Being authentic to your ideas, trying to be authentic in your performances, trying to be authentic in your how you carry yourself. Um, how and big thing that comes up with a lot of filmmakers, I think, is that kind of filmmakers and actors will be that kind of imposter syndrome. You know, it's a very real thing, isn't it? And it doesn't go away. It just becomes more manageable. Is that, or that anxiety of not thinking that you can pull something off? Surely that's something that creates the fuel for filmmakers and actors to push to the next level. That's what it's there for, right?
Yeah, that's an amazing fuel, I think, to make you nervous. It's good to be nervous. I remember actually going on stage when I was a kid in sixth class, and it was Robin Hood, and I was playing the sheriff of Nottingham. I was actually acting in the play as the sheriff of Nottingham, and I was so nervous. And I remember my teacher, like, who was really wise, he said to me, like, that's exactly what you need to be, nervous. And I remember thinking, why should I be nervous? I thought you need to be confident on it. And that always stuck with me, like, because you have to channel that nerves and it drives you, like, because everybody is fearful of making something and can you do it? But that's part of the creative process and the journey. And it's a great fuel.
Okay, another
And,
message
and
here.
who
Come,
cares
sorry.
what people think you're doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What other people think of you in your career? I'd add to that and say that it's kind of none of your business. You're not making these projects, like when you stop trying to people please and you just serve your inner voice in terms of your creative endeavor. um Great things can happen and doors open. Just a message here from Shane that I'm getting on one of the groups.
Yeah.
um can we make, sorry, just as a little bit of a typo here, can we make films on mobile phones and smartphones? Is that advisable?
Um, yeah, I think if that's the device that you want or the camera that you want to use for your film, I would just say, like, why would you use that instead of a camera? Maybe it's because it's the style of movie that you want to make. So if you want to make a short and it
Yeah.
could be like a horror hidden footage, then it suits it perfectly. But if you want to make a highly cinematic movie, you're better off using a camera and a good lens. So there's a reason, to make it cinematic, and you should be thinking like, you're making magic. Like when you make a movie, it's not a YouTube video, it's not a
Hmm.
doc, it's not something you're out there with your friends and you take out your phone and you're trying to shoot. When you think about your film and you think about every shot that you take, it's magic. Like you have to think that way. That you're creating magic. Like that's what film is. I think that's will help you kind of like, it helps define it and make it different to everyday, content.
Yeah, what about rejection, Mark? How do you deal with rejection? Because that's obviously, it's not something that goes away. Everybody is dealing with the same kind of snakes and ladders aspects, regardless of what level you're in your career. How do you, as a man of your age, with a certain level of experience and certain level of success and funding, etc., how do you deal with the the downs? Or what would you advise people to do when they get rejected, which is a huge part of the process?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Like, I've obviously had success, I've had funding and different things, but it's a massive part of the industry, and you might get rejected 5 times, and then you.
Oh, Mark seems to have dropped off there. I'm sure he'll share the secret of how to deal with rejection when he comes back. I'll just jump in for a sec. Thanks a million for watching, guys. And if you missed this live, it'll be on the FNI YouTube group, channel, and it'll be available on the FNI group and on our WhatsApps. Hold on there now, guys. So share it around with a friend. Maybe think about starting to build a team for a project to take part in one shot. Um, it's going to be it's going to be really ambitious. We want to try to create a project that people can be proud of and can be motivated by and encouraged, and in some cases get the kick up the arse to get going that they need. You know, and if you're not in a position where you can creatively lead a project within the event or the module, come along, support a friend. It's relatively cheap, you know. So get involved. While Mark's not on, I'll just talk a little bit about myself if you don't know who I am. I'm an actor and a producer and a director. Sometimes I direct. And I'm very actively, like a lot of our peers who may come along, I'm very actively developing projects. I was pitching with RTE a couple of weeks ago. I'm working on various different projects with different writers and other directors. I'm also a busy voiceover artist and a voiceover coach. Um, I'm also a busy voiceover. Sorry, messages coming in there. I'm also a busy voiceover coach and a voiceover director. As a director, I've worked on a kids animated TV show recently, so I was script editing and voice directing that, and it's a co-production, international co-production with Fionnuala Flanagan. I'm also working on a Screen Ireland feature, animated feature this year. It's a co-production with Portugal, so I'm casting that, and I'm also voice directing it when we get going. I've worked with international tech companies, working with people on authentic performance. I've worked with people in terms of voiceover, over 300 people. And this week I'm going to the One Voice conference where I'm giving two workshops in Stratford upon Avon on authenticity and voiceover and the threat of the dreaded AI. So yeah, and also, as an actor, I'm a multi. Um, I work across multi-disciplines and different media as an actor. I've been the lead of a feature. I've worked a lot on TV. I've done many, many, many short films. I've done lots of radio plays as an actor, and I've hundreds of jobs as a VO artist. I'm also co-founder with the fantastic Ray Mungy of Film Network Ireland. You may be aware of it. It's about 15 years old, and I've facilitated and co-hosted hundreds of podcasts with FNI. I produced those and facilitated quite a number of workshops, of which we've got um, quite a bit of support over the years from Screen Ireland and Wildcard Distribution, and we were sponsored by Kodak and Ari. We've done events with some amazing people: Lenny Abramson, Ewan Bremner, Kate McCullough, a wonderful DOP, and many, many, many more. So, running events is a huge part of what I do as well, and supporting other creatives to help get their creative projects off the ground and being in service to them. Um, just got a message in here from Michael who said, "No stands for next opportunity." I couldn't agree more. So yeah, very quickly, just to run through some practical details of the One Shot project in general. On the 4th of June, there'll be an information night. So that basically means get everybody together who's booked a ticket or is taking part. We'll break down how the few days are going to work. It's a great opportunity then for people to network, etc. It'll be from 6 in the evening. You'll get a chance to have a good walk around the facilities, have a look at the different rooms, and have a good gander at the One Shot project facilities. Great opportunity to meet other people that are taking part. Then the next morning we'll start proper and we'll jump into the actual classes, and that will be there will be a module on directing, there'll be a module on screenwriting, There'll be a module on acting for camera. There'll be a module on creating pitch decks and the aesthetics of your pitch deck and package. Then on the last day, we will work on shooting the scenes. We do have a little bit of leeway there that if we need to go over by a day or if we need a little bit of extra time, as this is the first project, um, we're leaving a little bit of a window for that if it's required as well. But most importantly, and I think this is the most important thing to say about the project overall, we won't disappear. This isn't a exercise in making money where we run off over a hill with a bag of cash, and thanks very much. We will make ourselves available to the cohorts of the project as time goes on. So, you'll be able to get us via email. We will jump on and give advice and help out with people after the project, give career advice. So it's very much a mentorship program, as well as an initiative to help people shoot some scenes and take some photographs. That's all well and good, but we want to be involved in supporting you and engaging you and helping you become, the best potential creative filmmaker, writer that you can be, and most importantly, encourage you to be the best that you can be. Um, you know, if you haven't already, I would suggest that you check out FNI Rap Chat, which is a kind of a library of experience podcast, of which we've interviewed, um, hundreds of people working across film and TV. So it's a podcast. It's not a press junket podcast. It's a library of experience from people who have worked directly in film and TV. And you have people who have fairly high profiles, but fairly high profiles right down to people who are working in a more practical capacity in film and TV. So DOPs, script writers, ADs, hair and makeup, costumes. There's someone from every perspective. A lot of producers, a lot of writers. So check that out and have a good look at that. You'll get it on YouTube, on this channel actually, and you'll get it on Spotify. And there's a whole back catalogue of hundreds of episodes for you to really get a sense of lived experience of people who work in film and TV. So give that a watch / listen if you haven't already. So more information about what we're doing is available on the oneshotireland.com website. We have a little intro video that myself and Mark shot before, and that will go into a little bit more detail if we haven't touched upon it here today. We have, most importantly about all of this project, the intention behind it all is to create a series of opportunities, a series of networking opportunities, a series of practical takeaways that weren't available to us when we were starting out, to help people to make the most of what they have in a short period of time, and to help them to engage with the professional environment so that people take them seriously. So if you want to be taken seriously, if this is something that you want to be involved in, I suggest checking out the website. Like I said, finally, just to wrap up, I think Mark's gone off to put some sunscreen on his nose from all that lovely time out in the sun in Cannes. But yeah, there are actor passes, so you can come along and take part in the kind of secondary part of the few days where you can get involved and offer your services. You can also come to the information evening, but the actual classes which are not applicable to what you'd be doing are not available to you. But come along, get involved, come to the information, the open evening on the 4th up in Rathnew. So yeah, there's the actor passes, and then there's crew passes, and then crews for ostensibly everybody else. So thanks a million for getting involved. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them either on any of the social media posts you've seen this on. Feel free to drop us an email on info@oneshotireland.com, and we're happy to answer any emails or questions via emails that you have. My phone is hopping like a madman here. Oh, here's a question. Sorry, my bad. Mark just wanted to apologise also there to say that by virtue of the fact of him being away, his internet's a bit choppy and he's got chucked out and can't seem to get back in, but he apologises. But if you want to hear more from Mark, come along on the 4th of June. Have a look at the website, oneshotireland.com. When you go through the booking section on the website, it'll bring you to a secondary booking page, which will give you the options then of what you can book. So do check that out. Come along on the 4th. It's going to be a fantastic breakneck series of a couple of days. And just like anything else, the more you put into this, the more that you're literally going to get out of it. And I think absolute worst case scenario, we're going to have incredible fun over the 3 or 4 days. Plenty of teas and coffees to keep you standing up straight over the couple of days. And we're really excited about where this could go, not just for you guys, but also for us in terms of what we're trying to do overall. So thank you so much for taking the time to have a look this evening. Please do share on your social media pages that you've seen this, talk about it. And finally, I think it's really important to mention, we do have scholarship places for modules. So if you can't afford the overall creator kind of whole module package, you really want to get involved. If you go to the website, you'll see that there's a scholarship opportunity. All you have to do is drop us an email, fill out a little form, and then we'll be contacting whoever's selected for that. So if you haven't a pot to piss in, we have you covered as well. So do get involved, check out the website, and we're really looking forward to seeing you on the 4th. And for now, thanks so much. And yeah, keep on keeping on, keep doing what you're doing. Take care.